In this lesson, we're going to use a system of equations to solve a word problem, and then from that system of equations, we will use the augmented matrix and our technology to solve. So in the first problem, we have write an equation that involves this situation. A theater group sold a total of 440 tickets for $3,940. Each regular ticket is $5, each premium ticket is $15, and each elite ticket costs $25. The number of tickets sold was 3 times the number of premium and the elite tickets combined. How many type of each were sold? So the first thing that we need to do is to make sure that we take a look at the 3 items that we have. So first of all, we have our regular ticket. And I'm going to call that X. Our next ticket is the premium ticket. So I'm going to call that Y. And then we have our elite ticket. And I'm going to call that Z. So the first equation is going to be how many tickets that we have. So X plus Y plus Z would equal all the tickets, and that's going to equal 440. The second equation is what are they worth? So the regular tickets are $5 each. The premium tickets are $15 each. And the elite tickets are $25 each, for a total of $3,940. So again, first equation is how many, second equation, what are they worth? Then the third equation is given to us by a statement that says the number of regular tickets, so that's our X, is 3 times the number of premium and elite combined. So premium and elite combined. Right now, this is 3 times bigger. So in order to make them equal to one another, what we need to do is we need to multiply this side by 3 so that we can make them the same. So what we'll do is we'll distribute that 3. And then we need to bring both of these to the other side by doing inverse operations so we get our variables to line up. So it will be X minus 3Y minus 3Z equals 0. Now we are going to put this into our augmented matrix, and then we are going to solve it using our calculator. So we have 440 by using the coefficient of each variable. 5, 15, 25, 3,940. Then we have 1, -3, -3, 0. So if on your calculator, you will go to matrix. If you will go over to edit by using the right button and press enter, it is the 3 by 4, so press enter twice. And now we need to enter the values in our calculator of our matrix. 5. Okay. Then, if you remember, you press the second function blue key and the quit button, which is right beside it. Press matrix, arrow 1 to the right where it says math, and then arrow to the row reduced echelon form number 9 and press enter. Then press matrix and then press enter because it's on the name, and then press enter again and it will have solved it for us. So it shows us that X is equal to 330 tickets. Y is equal to 46 tickets. And Z, the elite, is 64 tickets. Okay, I'm going to move past number 2 just for a minute so that we can go to the quilts problem. A quilt maker plans to make 14 quilts this year from 113 yards of fabric. The small quilt requires 4 yards of fabric, a medium is 7 yards, and a large is 11 yards. She plans to make twice as many large as small quilts. How many of each would she make? So first I'll set up my variables, and I want to know that X, I'm going to have that stand for the number of small quilts that I make. Y is going to equal the number of medium quilts that I make. And Z is going to equal the number of large quilts that I make. So the first equation is going to be how many quilts that I make. So how many would be to add all of the variables together since they represent the number of each kind, and that's going to be 14. On the next equation, instead of it being money, what are they worth? We want to know what they are worth in fabric. So the small quilt takes 4 yards of fabric, the medium quilt takes 7 yards of fabric, and the large quilt takes 11 yards of fabric, and altogether it says they would take 113 yards of fabric. In the last statement, it tells us our third quilt equation. It says she plans to make twice as many large as small. Twice as many large as small. So here's the large and here's the small. If right now the large is twice as big, to make them the same, we're going to multiply this by 2 so that they catch up to one another. Then we'll subtract 2x from both sides so that we can get the variables to line up. Remembering we're going to put a 0 in for y so it holds its place. And then we can recreate our augmented matrix by putting our coefficients in. Then we're going to move over and use our calculator to solve our system of equations. So if you would press matrix, arrow over to the right to edit, and press enter. Press enter on the 3x4 because that's the size it is. And now we're going to enter our values for this particular problem. And don't forget to press enter after the last entry. Then, if you would please press the blue button second and then quit, go back to matrix, arrow to the right to edit, math, arrow to number 9, row reduced echelon form, and press enter. Then press matrix, and it's already on the name letter A number 1, so press enter, and then press enter again to solve. So it tells us that we're going to make 3 small quilts, 5 medium quilts, and 6 large quilts. Okay, in our next problem, it's basically the same thing, but it's with investments. So we have $60,000 to invest. You want to invest the money in stocks, bonds, and money markets that each yield 12%, 8%, and 5% respectively. You want to invest the same in stocks and bonds and money market combined. Your goal is $5,400 to make. How much should you invest in each fund? So there's 3 funds. We have our stocks. So that's the money that's going to go into the stocks. We have our bonds, and that's the money that's going to go into the bonds. And we have our money market account. So that's the money that's going to go into the money market. So all of our money together that we invest is $60,000. Then the money that we're going to make comes from the percentage that we earn. So the stocks earn 12%. So that's going to change to a decimal. The bonds earn 8%. So we'll change that to 0.08. The money market earns 5%. And then what we found out was that we earn $5,400 on our accounts. The last equation is the sentence that says you want to invest the same amount in stocks as in bonds and money market combined. So that's going to be your stocks as, meaning equals, the money market and the bonds combined, or excuse me, bonds and money market. So now we want to move those to the other side in order to get our variables lined up. Now we will create our matrix that has our row reduced, to do our row reduced echelon form, using the coefficients of each of our variables. Oops, I should move that over a little bit. Okay, we'll go to our calculator, press matrix, over to edit, and we're going to put the new values in, press enter, and then it's a 3 by 4, so we can press enter on those. And now we'll put in our values. Be careful when you put in your 60,000 that you get enough zeros. Then be careful of your decimals. All right, then we're on the last row. And make sure you press enter after the last one. Okay, now we're going to go to the blue second button and the button quit next to it. Press matrix, arrow once over to math, and go to number 9, row reduced echelon form. Press enter. Then go back to matrix and press enter on the name. And then go ahead and press enter again, and it's going to tell us how much is in each account. So in each account, so in our stocks, we have $30,000. In our bonds, we have $10,000. And in our money market, we have $20,000. And that's all we'll do on these. We will take care of the problem number 2 when we do our 2-step equations, or have taken care of it with the passenger jet. So it's your turn to try a couple problems on the student examples.